Hey, and welcome to the brand new episode of the Straight Up Show podcast. I am your host, Calvin, joined by my co host, Brandon and Lee, for a part two of the Super Hero Tournament. Last episode, we did the DC version where Superman was the winner of that side of the bracket. And due to Lee's fault, Batman was kicked out second round. So Lee, the hate mail
Thank you,
has been
Lee.
coming in, and Lee. So I mean, how are you feeling after these threats that came to you?
All I'm gonna say is Cyborg got robbed.
and as always, we know that some people may not like the outcome of the last DCA bracket, but we have an email that you can send all of your questions, your concerns, comments, and criticisms to. And Lee, can you tell people what the email is?
Gladly, Calvin. That email is idon'tcare@gmail.com.
That's idon'tcare@gmail.com. So enough of that. We are now at the part two portion and the final of this superhero tournament bracket, and it's the Marvel side. Marvel started by Stan Lee. He had some help as well. We don't want to get too much into that, but it's mostly well known by Stan Lee, and we have some wonderful guests joining Brandon and Lee to compete in this tournament. Desmond and Charles C.J. Johnson, singer, and just everything else under the sun that you could think of that he does great. Desmond as well. How you guys doing today?
A bunch of nerds are gonna get real angry at you for saying that Stan Lee started Marvel. But hey, how y'all doing?
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna say anything.
That's what I said. That's what I said. And, didn't you hear what I said? I gave the extra
He didn't
credit.
start Marvel.
You said Stan Lee and a bunch of other folks.
Yeah. So and like
It's
I
just
said,
like saying David Ruffin and the Temptations.
that's who Stan Lee is. Stan Lee is the David Ruffin of Marvel. When you think of Stan Ruffin,
Anybody come see you, Jack Kirby?
says Stan Ruffin. When you think it's Marvel, you think of Stan Lee. You know, when you think of Temptation, you think of David Ruffin and the Temptations.
Oh man.
Then it's Edwards too. But anyway, unfortunately,
Nights
before
like this, I wish infinity would fall.
unfortunately before we even get started, while we're recording this, before we recorded this, after we recorded the DC version of it, we learned the sad loss of Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick was, of course, the first live action version of Black Panther in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he died at the age of 43 due to colon cancer. I don't know about y'all, but I mean, fortunately, I mean, and even Brandon can go back. We talked about this on our friends. Shout out to the Real Inspectors podcast, but we talked about the Black Panther who should have played Black Panther first. And I was not all about Chadwick Boseman, but Chadwick Boseman did deliver. He was definitely a pivotal point for representation in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I mean, just y'all, man, that loss is pretty big.
Chadwick
that
Boseman
one
was my
hurt.
first choice after I saw him in starring as Jackie Robinson. I knew he had that face. Was like, no matter what, like Tony Stark comes in with his fast talking and trying to be the smartest person in the room, he's gonna have that bravado that can go toe to toe as far as charisma and that steely gaze.
It was a hard hitting loss, of course 2020 has already been a tough year, but I don't know, man. It was just something about this one where it just stung because it came out of nowhere.
Yep.
I think that's probably what hit everybody the hardest is like, dude, like this whole time he's been fighting this secret battle and, boom, this news just gets hit on us. Like, man, it's crazy, man. It really is.
Well, on my social media posts, that's why the first word I used is blindsided. When I heard the news, I was like, who? No way. That's like the last thing I would have thought would have happened this year. I know we're gonna, get into a lot more about the character. Hopefully he's in this bracket. But yeah, it was just a loss for the film industry, for the Black film community specifically, and just a huge space is now like looking to see like how can we bounce back from this.
I mean, it's just so tragic, man. Like y'all said, just the not knowing that he was dealing with this the whole time. It just it just hurts, and yeah, my condolences to his family. I can't imagine going through the what. I mean, I have gone through that with members of my own family. So yeah, like get yourself checked out, everyone.
So we would definitely want to give our condolences to Chadwick Boseman and the Boseman family. So Chadwick Boseman, dead at the age of 43 from colon cancer. Stay tuned. All right, guys, we're back, and like I said, we're gonna jump into the Marvel side of this tournament of superheroes, best superheroes. Like I said, our previous episode we have the DC, but today we're gonna have the final and the Marvel and the final of this tournament. So, are you all ready for this
Of course
tournament?
not.
As ready as I'll be.
All right, so first up, I'm gonna get our guest to go first. So, CJ, I choose
Why me,
you to
man?
start it off
Why
as
me?
because you're the most passionate for this. I'm not just kidding, but no, I choose you because C becomes before D, and you know how the alphabet goes. All right, um, so here we go. Starts off as before. We're gonna have there's four people. You know, 3 out of 4 wins. If they all can't, if it's a tie, I am the official tiebreaker. They all have one lifeline, and we have the special life. Like I said, if they both use a lifeline on the same bracket or the same round, then I have to come up with a trick question for them to go ahead and get through it. Okay. So with that being said, I hope the rules make sense. I explained it the right way. If not, listen to the previous episode and you kind of get the hint. All right. So here we go. All right. Going to the first round, we're starting off with CJ. Up first for the first round of this tournament, it is Wolverine versus Venom. CJ, who do you
Right
pick?
off the bat, you got my head hurting. Exactly, exactly. I gotta go first. Okay, so we all know Wolverine, one of the favorites of the X-Men. Definitely one of the most iconic superheroes of all time. Venom, arguably one of the most beloved anti-heroes of all time. Um, oh my goodness, I'm a super fan of Venom. That's why this hurts. Oh, I gotta go with Wolverine, um, because he's more iconic, man. And I also feel like that the comic representations and the live action representations have been done stellar with this character. Venom has one live action, adaptation that kind of stained its reputation. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Wovey.
All right. Well, Wolverine gets one. Desmond, how about you?
Wolverine as a character, seeing him progress from having those little whiskers on his face and starting off in a Hulk comic, Hulk whooped his ass. To seeing him being so oversaturated, he got several different of his own titles. He's also in like several different X-Men titles and in different Avengers titles now. But I still got love for him. I still think the best interpretation of him was in the 90s animated series. Venom, seeing Venom being in a live action interpretation in like Spider-Man 3 and then seeing him in that Tom Hardy movie just makes me think there are certain characters that just are more of a product of their time, the 90s, the edgy edgelord 90s, where you got a lot of characters like Venom just came into their own. So I'm gonna have to go to Wolverine. Wolverine isn't somebody just tied to one time.
Okay. I can accept that. All right. And Brandon, what about you?
I do agree Wolverine is iconic, but I also love Venom character in as all of the comics that he's in. I really like that character a lot. So I'm gonna push for him and say Venom. I do like Wolverine. This is another Superman thing. I just really wanna at least support Venom in this.
All right. Well, Lee, you can tie with Brandon and go with Venom, or you can pick Wolverine. Who do you pick?
To kind of echo what Desmond said, Wolverine is like super overexposed, and I honestly kind of feel about Wolverine the same way I do about Batman, and that I'm pretty dang over him. But that being said, to me at least, Venom is more of a costume and less of a character. I say that because my favorite incarnation of Venom was when friggin' Scorpion got the Venom symbiote and ran around with Thunderbolts as Venom for a while. That was like the best.
All right. So Lee, who's your choice, Wolverine or Venom?
Wolverine.
Okay. All right. So, and Brandon, unless you want to use your lifeline for Venom, does Wolverine get through?
Nah, no, this is too early in the game. I'm not doing that.
All right. All right. So it looks like Wolverine advances. So we're going to keep it in the X-Men family. Up next, we have Desmond picking Beast versus Jean Grey.
Oh damn. Hank McCoy. He's cool and everything. His original mutation was what he had huge fingers and toes, and he got sick of that, and he wanted to blend in with humans, and he wound up being blue and looking like Beast from Beauty and the Beast or whatever. And you got Jean Grey, who this is a regular telekinesis and telepathy is enough, but she got the Phoenix Force and all that. As boring as she is, because a lot of times all she do is just faint. Scott, it's too much. I'm gonna have to pick Orgasmic Jean.
He said Orgasmic Jean.
That's all she sounded like. She was having an orgasm. Scott.
Wow. Well, all right. So one vote for Orgasmic Jean. All right. All right, Brandon. Who do you pick?
As much as a plot device she is, I would orgasmic Jean as well.
All right, Lee. Who do you pick?
As much as I love my big furry man, I gotta give it to Jean Grey as well.
Jeez, man. Y'all just trying to get us kicked off, right? Just get us kicked off air, right? I'm just kidding.
There
All right,
won't
so-
be pickets outside for Beast. He's not dead.
But it's Beast. Beast. If you would have,
Beast ain't never been nobody you could pick on a fighting game.
you would never pick. Okay, Beast is the
Beast
X-Men.
ain't never been in a fighting game.
Exactly.
Oh my god! Oh man!
These people who run these comic book companies are like, okay, can we make toys out of them? Should we put them on an animated series? Oh, should we put this character in a fighting game? Who want to pick Beast over Ryu or something like that?
Okay,
You got Blanca.
CJ, do you pick him out the
Man, I'm tempted to use that card, man. I'm tempted to use it. No, man. Orgasmic Jean, man. Orgasmic Jean.
All right, well.
Yeah.
All right, well, Jean Grey, her official name, put some respect on it. Jean Grey advances to the next round because she is Jean Grey. All right, so this is gonna be a hard one. Let me see. It was Desmond next, right? So I'm gonna give this to Brandon. All right, so Brandon, up next, we have Black Panther, may God rest his soul, versus Gambit. Ooh.
Oh, damn.
Really?
Damn.
Really? I'm gonna go with Black Panther for sure. And I'm not just saying that. I really do think Black Panther is a better choice for this. But why Gambit had to be in this slot?
Hey man, I don't make the rules. If you don't like it, talk to Lee.
I was just about to say no. I blame Lee. So, but yes, Black Panther.
All right, one for Black Panther. All right, CJ, who do you pick?
Yeah, so I do feel like we're gonna have some more Black Panther talk as this tournament progresses. So I'll save, whatever extra thoughts I got on that later. Gambit is one of my favorite superheroes. Like as a kid, I always loved him having that staff and the cards, dude. The exploding cards, right? The fact that he could even the cards wasn't even his power. Like he could touch anything and make it like explosive, So So definitely great power set and all that. But Black Panther, this is an easy pick for me, man. Black Panther. Respect on Gambit, but Black
Yes.
Panther is getting that advance.
Okay. All right, Lee, who do you pick?
I have a feeling I'm gonna be the odd man out here because my pick is Gambit. I've always wanted that thing he has to like keep his hair back. I have no idea what that thing is called, but it's awesome.
All right. So we got 2 for Black Panther and 1 for Gambit. Desmond, you can send Black Panther to the next round, or you can be on a tie with Lee. Who do you pick?
Can somebody tell me what Louisiana dialect Gambit talks? Because it don't really sound like it sounds like a who ain't never been to Louisiana before. It's like, say shell. And his ability, charge any object with kinetic energy is so broad. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know. But he's smooth. He's suave. He's kind of part of the LGBT community if you read the comic books. But Black Panther is a genius. He's a king. He's kingly. You know what I'm saying? He's a badass. I'm going to Black Panther.
All right. Well, unless Lee wants to use his lifeline, um, Black Panther advances. Lee, you want to use it or?
In Mr. Bozeman's memory, I will not use my wild card this time.
Okay. All right. Well, Lee doesn't want to use his wild card. Thank you for saying that. Keep saying lifeline. Black Panther advances. All right. So speaking of Lee, you're going to be next. We're going to keep it in the X-Men family. Once again, we have Nightcrawler, the religious Nightcrawler, versus Cyclops. Can't keep this woman Cyclops.
So a little behind the scenes for y'all. We're probably gonna see a lot of X-Men in this because Marvel's got a lot of them.
Right.
So my choice, I'd have to go with Nightcrawler because I read the entirety of Excalibur, and not a lot of people can say that.
Damn, that is true.
Okay. All right. Well, Nightcrawler, 1 for Lee. All right. CJ, who do you pick?
I'm one of those people that that can say he's never read the entirety of that. Man, this is tough for me because like in the comics, like Cyclops was the leader of the X-Men, of Professor X's team. So he has more credit in the comics than he does in the movie adaptations. Whereas Nightcrawler, I feel like is more popular, in the movies. Between the two, I gotta go with Nightcrawler, man. I agree with Lee. Like he's just a doper character.
Wow. Okay. Well, okay. Desmond, who do you pick?
Cyclops. There's something about those boring stoic ass leaders that a lot of people. When you're younger, you look at Leonardo, you look at Cyclops, you look at Lionel, and go, "You guys are boring and you suck." But the older you get, like you kind of need somebody who's straight edge and keeps everybody on task and is kind of a dick. You kind of need that guy. Nightcrawler is fun. That X-Men 2 opening scene will live on in infamy, but I don't think that Cyclops has been given his proper due, and I'm not gonna contribute to that. I'm pushing him forward. Cyclops.
Okay. So, all right. Brandon, you can make or break this pick. So we're going to see. You want Cyclops to advance or do you want Nightcrawler? Who do you pick?
Look, I don't know if it's because I just don't like people that shoot beams from their eyes, but I
Huh?
cannot stand Cyclops. So I don't like anything about Cyclops. I don't like his demeanor. I don't like his stupid ability. I don't like anything about that character. Complete opposite with Nightcrawler. He's even dark skinned. So I'm going to go with Nightcrawler.
All right. Nightcrawler advances unless Desmond wants to use his wild card to get.
Not for Cyclops. I'm good.
Okay. Wow.
Point taken. Point taken. There you go.
All right. So we're going to keep this out on the path. We're going to keep the color red and people shooting red stuff out their eyes. Up next, we have Brandon starting off. Brandon, we have Daredevil versus the Star-Lord.
I'm going to go with Daredevil on this, mainly because of, one, he's blind. He's a great martial artist. He has a great storyline. So, yeah.
All right. That's 1 for Daredevil. All right. Desmond, who do you pick?
Star-Lord was fun. I remember how he was originally introduced in the comics. He's a much more stoic and more boring character, and they gave him that kind of Indiana Jones, Han Solo kind of makeover for the movies. That was a good decision, but from the comics I've read of Daredevil to the fact that what they did, I think it was Charlie Cox and the Netflix Daredevil, all the damn hallway fight scenes. That's a badass. That's somebody who gets his ass whooped, get back up. He out of breath. It's like, oh, let's go. I'm still standing. I'm still here. And I'm blind. Daredevil.
I'm blind.
Way to go to put a plug in for Daredevil. Which is still on Netflix, by the way, even though they canceled the series. Anyway. Yeah, man, it's still good. I like it too. All right, so up next, we have 2 for Daredevil. That is, who else? So CJ, who do you pick, Daredevil or Star-Lord?
If nobody has seen that show on Netflix, I implore you, after you listen to this podcast, of course, go and check out that show, because if you wasn't a fan of that character before, you will definitely be a fan after watching that show. Like, Daz hit it right on the nail. That hallway fight scene is all you need to see. This dude was just throwing hands, man, for like, 5 minutes straight? Straight! Anybody that knows about, like, physical activity, like fighting that long, like, you get winded. This dude was still going. Like, bruh, oh my goodness. This is easy for me, man. It's Daredevil all way.
All right. Well, that's 3 for Daredevil. And Lee, what about you? Who do you pick?
Yeah, that Netflix show just goes to show that Daredevil's real superpower is getting the ever-loving crap kicked out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And so, sorry, Chris Pratt, my vote is Daredevil.
Okay. All right. So Daredevil
Respect
advances.
to Star-Lord, though. Respect to Star-Lord.
Not after Infinity War. We almost had the glove off.
That's facts.
Yeah.
That's facts right there, man.
Yeah, that was a
Spider-Man young behind was like, dude, what are you doing?
You got Iron Man killed. So Daredevil, this is our first sweep of the board today. Daredevil is going in. So but I'm gonna have to say I agree with all y'all about the Netflix series, and honestly with the whole live action Marvel shows and movies. I really think that Kingpin is like one of the best villains.
Wow.
That
agreed.
D'Onofrio did that, man.
Daredevil advances in that. We're going to take a quick break right quick. When we come back, the rest of round 1 for this Super Hero Tournament. Stay tuned.
Tired of the same old boring clothes? Want to support your favorite podcast but don't know how? Well, you're in luck. The Straight Up Show podcast store is finally here. In our Teespring shop, you can find all the merch that tells the world you're keeping it straight up. From t-shirts to masks to even leggings, our store has you covered. Just visit straightupshowpodcast.com and click that merchandise button. That's STR the number 8 upshowpodcast.com.
All right, so we're back. We're gonna waste no time. Let's jump right back into it. We have our guests Desmond and CJ, Charles Johnson, CJ, in the building with us today. So let's get back right into it. So Lee, I'm gonna start this off with you. I actually had to question this about you because I didn't know who this person was, but we have Squirrel Girl with versus Storm. Squirrel Girl versus Storm. Lee, who do you pick?
Really?
All right, let me tell you about Squirrel Girl real quick. So Squirrel Girl single-handedly has taken down Doctor Doom, Galactus, and Thanos, and this is all canon. But all that being said, I am diehard 80s Mohawk Storm until I die.
All right, so Storm is his pick. There we go. All right, CJ, who do you pick?
Storm is my pick, but I'm gonna just use the rest of my time for either Daz or Lee to just give me more info on Squirrel Girl.
She's a mutant. She's supposed to be really cute. She has you see how Aquaman can talk to fish?
Yeah.
What if you had that power, but instead of fish, you had the ability to talk to squirrels?
Okay.
But did she defeat D?
D.
D's
Oh
nuts.
God! I know.
Oh
Oh,
my God,
why
you
did,
fell
oh
for
my
that
God!
so
Hell for it, man. I mean,
God.
the setup was just
it was
smooth, man.
there.
I had to get you, man. Sorry, I had to get you. You fell for it. Anyway. All right. Desmond, actually it's Brandon next. Brandon, who do you pick?
I'm gonna go with Squirrel Girl.
What?
My only reason for that.
Are you serious,
Where's
man?
your
Yes,
address?
I'm like,
You know your location.
no, I'm like, I'm like legit serious. My only reason is because Storm frustrates me, dude. Like, no,
So
not
you
that
pulling the
frustrates.
Superman card?
But no, I'm
Sexually?
not. I'm not. It's just the way they use Storm in so many ways is so complex. Sometimes I'm like,
Squirrel Girl.
she is what she is, yo.
She's a live action Sandy Cheeks. All right, so Brandon picked Squirrel Girl. All right, so Desmond, I don't think you even need a vote, but who do you pick?
Wait a minute. How many people pick Squirrel Girl?
Just
Just
one.
me.
Oh, thank God! I was about to have an aneurysm. Bruh, no, look. Storm lost her powers and whooped Cyclops' ass in the danger room
It's Cyclops.
for leadership. But Cyclops
Oh
is
no,
underrated.
Cyclops
He's
got
a
hands,
fighter.
man. Cyclops got
Cyclops.
hands.
Wolverine had flat out said, "Look, sometimes I forget to give you props. You have like a nuclear reactor in your brain." Um, even with that, Storm with the leather jacket with no sleeves and in the mohawk whooped his lily white ass for leadership of the X-Men.
Look, blame the movie.
Black history.
It's like they just can't get it right. It frustrates me. So I
But in the
just
movies,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Fox had it. I mean, I don't even think Fox did Wolverine right.
No,
Like
they
I
didn't.
said, the
Facts.
90s
Facts.
Wolverine and the X-Men animated series is the best one. But
Those
Storm.
movies were
Definitely, I'm saying
yes.
Storm. Storm.
Same with Storm. Okay, well, Storm advances unless Brandon wants to use his wild card for Squirrel Girl. Which, if you do, I'm pretty sure this would be the end of straight up as
No, I'm good.
Thank
Man,
you.
push that card, man. Come on, believe in yourself.
Come on,
Put
man,
Squirrel Girl
Squirrel
to the
Girl.
top.
No,
You
I'm
can
just
make
kidding.
it.
All right, all right. Well, it seems that Storm advances, but Brandon, to come to your aid, I must say that my pick still to this day, I think Angela Bassett would have been the best Storm ever. That's just my pick.
Oh, agreed. Agreed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's just me. Anyway, so we advance.
Overall,
Okay,
I do it.
so Storm advances to the next round. Desmond, I'm gonna let this one be starting with you because this is gonna be a hard one. But up next we have the Punisher versus Blade.
Uh, Punisher has always felt like, if y'all ever looked at those, like, was it Charles Branson old action flicks where you got some pissed off white man that just can't take it no more. He's gonna start shooting a bunch of
Yes.
thugs. That's I kind of all of Punisher is. Hey, look at all these cops with Punisher logos on them. But Blade is a badass. You know what I'm saying? He finally took off that whack ass green jacket and them
Ooh, God, yes.
those ugly ass shades he had before. What Wesley Snipes and New Line Cinema did with Blade, bro. And you would not have had X-Men. You would not have had Spider-Man, which means you would have never had the Avengers in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as we know it. Props to Wesley Snipes and New Line Cinema. Blade for the win.
Okay, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong with this, right? And correct me if I'm wrong. But wasn't Blade the first ever MCU movie? Right? No.
No,
MCU?
Marvel Cinematic. If you talk about Marvel Cinematic, as a nerd, I'm sorry. Anything under the Marvel Studios banner, that's the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah,
Blade might have
that
been
would be Iron Man.
live action because all the leaks. I don't know all the extra leaks.
Yeah.
They sold. They purchased a. I don't know all the legal shit. All I know is New Line Cinema bought the cinematic rights. After Batman damn near tanked the entire superhero movie genre. After the success of Blade, shareholders for movie studios were like, "No, we can still make money with comic book source material."
That's a little bit more than I asked for, but okay.
I know. I'm
All
sorry.
right. It's okay. No, it's okay. It's good. You digress. It's okay. All right. So, all right. So, Brandon, who do you pick?
Blade, because he did save the Marvel universe in terms of cinema.
Okay, I can take that. All right, CJ, who do you pick?
If we want to go with first black Marvel superhero, I think Blade fits that bill as far as movies go.
Yeah,
Um,
live
but
action.
exactly, live action movies. So, Daz, you actually changed my mind on this, man. Like, because originally I was thinking, Netflix show went so hard, but Blade, the overall character, he's a vampire hunting other vampires.
He's the Nightwalker.
Like
Daywalker.
he has to
Daywalker.
constantly resist his urge to feast on human blood, right? Like that's a battle he's gonna constantly have, right? And he could kick all types of A.
And
Not
he
to mention
also
like
has lines like, so I always trying to ice skate uphill. I'm sorry, CJ, go ahead.
see, I just kept mine PG, man. Do you just go, get bleeped out, man? But no, it's cool, man. Yeah, Blade for the win.
Right.
Punisher's definitely a cool character, but yeah, I gotta go with Blade.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. Well, Lee, the choice is your. Well, it was three against your vote now, but Lee, we still value your vote. Which, if you are out there right now, make sure you go get registered to vote because we value your vote too. But Lee, getting back to you, who do you pick, Punisher or
You
Blade?
know what? Let me take this opportunity to go to bat for Punisher by listing everything I like about the Punisher. Looks like Blade wins.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's a long list, man. That's a
Wow.
My dead
long
wife
That's
list.
and
a
family.
it's a very lengthy list. All right. Well,
Oh.
it looks like Blade goes once again a full sweep, just following Daredevil, full of full sweep. All right. So it looks like Blade once again. And so up next we have Rocket Raccoon versus Thor. Brandon, who do you pick?
I'm gonna go with Thor because there's a woman uh as Thor. Yeah.
Okay. Hey,
I
that's
literally know like these two characters are like, yeah, to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna go with Thor because of that aspect. And
Okay.
he is like, a god.
Okay. We can take that. All right. Lee, who do you pick?
I pick Rocket Raccoon because I want to scratch his head and assure him that everything's going to be okay.
I'm gonna shoot you.
And he'll pop two hot ones in your butt. So that's cool. All right, so we have Rocket Raccoon for Lee. You got Thor for Brandon. Dasmond, who do you pick?
Like I said about Star Lord, Marvel Comics Entertainment, all those people, the shareholders and all, they knew they had to revamp the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they found great personality archetypes for each character. Wolverine in the movie was, I'm sorry, Rocket Raccoon in the movie was almost a better Wolverine in my opinion because he sit there in one scene while he's sitting there crying and drunk goes, "You sitting there, I'm short and you keep with me, and people are sitting there experimenting on me over and over again, and you're another person who thinks I'm nothing but something to mess with. I'm about to show you something." I kind of like that. He's got that short man syndrome, Napoleon complex.
Napoleon.
The short man syndrome. I like that better. It's alliterative. But
He has that Danny DeVito.
oh yes.
Wow.
Oh my God. What is that? Always Sunny in Nowhere.
Golly.
In Philadelphia.
No, Nowhere.
No way.
But what Chris Hemsworth has done with that character, Thor can be he could be incredibly boring when he shouldn't be because, like I said, Superman in the other bracket, Superman gave you a template of a superhero. Stan Lee, I felt like I can't even give it to Stan Lee. I had to give it to somebody who started writing him later on after he gave it up. Thor started following in that template and started becoming even more interesting as far as like a cosmic, extra dimensional alien, somewhat god And as far as like the writers and the creators, as far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, what they've done with him and Chris Hemsworth, making him funny and relatable and more human, I like Thor better. I'm stop right there. Thor.
Okay. All right. And then that's cool. We can take that. And Lee, who do you pick?
Back
I
to
mean,
me.
CJ, who do you pick? I
Uh,
always speak CJ. Sorry.
You all look
what's the
alike.
All right. Oh man, what's up? What's the vote set again?
It is 2 Thor, 1 Rocket Raccoon.
Okay, so this battle is a prime example of the movie adaptations doing wonders for these characters. Because for
Amen.
both of them, I didn't care anything about them when they was in the comics, right?
Mhm.
Even on the video games, I barely played a Thor.
Mhm.
But when these movies came out, man, you gave Rocket Raccoon so much personality,
Hallelujah.
right? Same goes for Thor, man. Like you made him
Mhm.
funny. Like essentially he's Superman with a personality.
Won't he
Like
do it?
that's a character you can get behind. And I mean, dude, at the end of the day, it comes down to um who could create the most carnage for me, and that's easily Thor. That's Thor, man. I got to give it to him.
Mhm.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
unless y'all want to use your wild card, it looks like Thor wins this one.
Mhm.
Anybody? Any
No,
thoughts?
I don't
Okay.
think this will be it.
Okay. And just get my piece on it right quick. I didn't know who Thor was until I saw the Babysitter Club. So
Huh?
What?
yeah.
I
See,
understood that reference.
thank you. All right, so I'm not alone. All right, if you understand it, then you get the joke. Anyway, up next, it was a movie with a girl. She was obsessed with Thor, and then she saw a fake Thor at the mall, and then she got mad about it.
Oh.
Spoiler alert.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
Oh.
All right. Up next, we have Spider-Man versus Ghost Rider.
Oh,
CJ, who do you pick?
Okay. Just for clarification, is this every iteration of Spider-Man?
The character
Yes.
and every
Spider-Man.
iteration of
Yes.
Ghost Rider too.
The character Spider-Man versus Ghost Rider.
Okay. All right. Spider-Man. Next question.
All right, Lee.
Yeah, man, Spider-Man. Gotta give it to Spidey.
All right, Dasmond.
Uh, I love Spider-Man more than I love Superman. I relate to him more. Miles Morales and Peter Parker and Miguel O'Hara and all that. But just to give a shout out to Ghost Rider, there's this one episode of the old Fantastic Four animated series where
Yes.
Galactus, Devourer of Worlds, came to Earth, and Galactus and Ghost Rider rode up in his motorcycle and gave him the penance stare, which pretty much like, right now you're going to experience all the pain and all the anguish of every individual soul that died on a planet that you devoured.
That's a lot. That's a lot of penance.
A lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
More than
And the best thing about that episode is that Ghost Rider doesn't show up before that moment or after. He just comes, does his thing, and leaves. It's wonderful.
Really now?
When you if I don't give a person, it's Ghost Rider. Bitch, I'm still going to Spider-Man. I love Ghost Rider.
Oh man.
Spider-Man. I'm out. I'm sorry.
I gotta
Okay.
check that episode out because I just
I
want
do
to see
too.
Galactus' reaction.
It's on Disney.
Yeah, me
Plus.
too.
Right, like a
Okay, well, let me send us that episode so we can go to it.
Yes.
Brandon, it's up to you now. What do you pick?
Spider-Man. For sure.
Okay.
I mean, Ghost Rider
Alright.
is
Brandon, I was nervous, man. I thought you was gonna
No.
go to bat for
hell
Ghost
no.
Rider, man.
I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so Spider-Man.
Okay.
I like Ghost
Okay.
Rider.
Yeah, and I was I mean I was hoping that they did better with Ghost Rider on the Agents of Shield, which they did to me.
oh.
But Nick Cage, no.
They
I digress.
they
That's
tried.
fine.
They
I
tried.
think they did a good job.
I think they actually
Danny Ketch is my favorite Ghost Rider, but they did a good job of Ghost Rider. The Ace of Shield to me, the Hot Rod Ghost Rider, it was cool. It was cool.
I mean, honestly, and this is getting off the subject, but every Nick Cage movie I see, I think he's that same person off of Con Air. I gotta get home to my daughter. She has a teddy bear. like,
Oh man.
like, like seriously, man. Like it's every movie he's in.
Oh my
Anyway,
I'm
goodness.
gonna take my face
That was
off.
good.
take
That
my
was good.
face off because
That
my
was good.
daughter is at home. She needs a daddy. Anyway, sorry, man. That's just
How
every
many
Nick
times
Cage
have we
movie.
seen that movie, Calvin?
Oh
I
man.
mean, it was like one of the biggest like Hollywood video that we
We
used to get. So I
watched it over and over again, dog.
mean, just horrible. Anyway, Nick Cage is a well-known actor in our household. So I mean, my
Oh my
mom
God, we watched
He
Man.
was
she was
almost
obsessed.
Superman.
Throw
Yeah.
some
He was
respect on his name. He could have been Superman. That's
No,
right.
he
That's
was
right.
Superman,
I've
though.
seen the footage. It's
There's
beautiful.
a reason why they didn't make it to the theaters.
all right. So it looks like Spider-Man advances. All right. So up next we have Captain Marvel versus Luke Cage. All
God,
right, Lee, who do you pick?
Oh man, we were just talking about the Netflix shows too, and I love the crap out of Luke Cage, but I kind of gotta give it to my girl Carol. She's especially the comic book version, because
Basket?
man, she has been through the ringer and has
Mm-hmm.
come out like stronger than ever. Got like a whole new title and upgrade and everything. So I gotta give it to Captain Marvel.
All right. So Brandon, who do you pick?
Um, I despise the Marvel Universe, Captain Marvel so much.
what?
That's why I do.
Anti-feminist.
I'm not. It's just she says so much, dude. She showed so much and so not. So I
But she's
don't know.
Marvel's first Super Saiyan.
Look, I'm gonna go with
You
Luke.
did go Super
I'm gonna
Saiyan.
get out. I'm gonna get out
She
of here.
did.
Like, I gotta go. I just can't deal with her. I can't.
All right. So Brandon says Luke Cage. All right. So we're tied up right now. Dasmond, who do you pick?
Um, there's a whole tirade that I could go on who's called Captain Marvel with Billy Batson and Fawcett Comics and the Captain Marvel and how terrible that turned out for the Marvel and how they legally wanted to keep that name, and
Right.
now the
That
Billy
too.
Batson one at DC needs to be
Yeah.
called Shazam legally. And you had Monica Rambeau, who was the first female Captain Marvel. It was a black woman, but it's so comic books are weird and so convoluted.
So we have that, and we have two for Luke Cage, one for Captain Marvel. CJ, choice is yours. Who do you pick?
Man, honestly, this is like battle of the bland characters for me. Like, all right, so I love the Luke Cage show, right? I did feel like they missed the mark with the casting of Luke Cage. Felt like the guy that played him, he was a bit bland for me, man. Like he definitely had the look, but
Michael Coulter.
Mike Coulter. But yeah, but personality wise, no, man, I could not get behind that dude.
He
And
wasn't
then with
swabbing
Captain
it.
Marvel, the movies, bruh, I mean, look, once again, respect, to the feminist movement, women's power, go ladies. I'm not mad at that, right? It was simply how the character was presented. Like you have this OP character, but like this is what happens when this is why people are pissed about Superman. Because you're super powerful, but it's like, what struggles are you going through in those movies, the movies
CJ,
that she's been in? So, huh?
CJ, do you remember? Okay, there's this YouTube channel called Screw Attack where they would have superhero versus
Yeah, I remember
superhero,
that.
and they would have Goku versus Superman at least
Yeah,
twice.
Death
And
Battle.
their whole theory is Goku breaks limits, whereas Superman has none.
He is, yeah, he doesn't have them. Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
So going back, once again, this is talking about the movie adaptations, right? So my pick is going to be Captain Marvel only because I'm familiar with her alcoholism back in the
Mm-mm.
comics. So she has personality, she has growth that she had to deal with. But yeah,
Okay.
so That's my only deciding factor between the two.
Well, it looks like we have an issue because for the first time in this whole tournament for the Marvel side, we have a tie. So what that means is that I am the tiebreaker. So
Yes, sir.
uh, so here we go. This is my explanation to this. Now I must tell you, when I saw Captain Marvel the first time, Dasmine, I think I actually went in with you to go see it. I'm not for sure, but
No.
I okay. Never mind then.
Did
All
we?
right, I don't know. It's a long time
I
ago. But
know we
anyway,
went to see Amazing Spider-Man. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. But anyway, when I went to go see Captain Marvel in theaters, I fell asleep.
I,
Okay, but hold on. But Luke Cage is the TV show was man.
that last season,
That last season what's his name the
Bush, damn it,
Yeah.
Bushwhacker or something like that, whatever his name is.
yeah, yeah.
But man, that and just the
Bushmaster.
Bushmaster,
There you
yeah.
go. He was like an alcohol. He was named after her.
But the
Something.
show, that was how that show didn't get season two because that or season three because that was mixed that in with the music with Jill Scott
Facts.
and
Mm.
which is
Raphael Sadiq.
Kingfish and man, just like it just the fight scenes the fight scene with Luke Cage on the bridge with him and Bushmaster like and then man Bushmaster kind of like killed his own he was seeking he wasn't really a villain he was just going back to take vengeance of what happened to his family so
Yeah.
that adaptation of Luke Cage I like and I played one of my favorite games that I wish they would do a better version of is Ultimate Alliance with Marvel
Yes.
and they had I would use Luke Cage on my team because his move was he would just rapidly hit the ground like just and
Mm-hmm.
like it would knock people out. So I
Captain
say
Marvel is cold on Ultimate Alliance too now.
Yeah.
yeah she did okay.
Can anybody
But
remember?
Okay, she did
Anybody remember
okay.
what her special is?
I don't honestly.
I don't either.
I didn't. I
Yeah.
don't.
She shoots lasers out of her hands.
Yes,
That's
she
her
has
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
And
The-
and and she
Lasers.
got and she got beat up by Storm. So um and she got her powers stolen by Storm. So anyway, I
no,
say that
Rogue.
wait,
Rogue
go ahead.
stole her powers. That's how Rogue can
My
fly.
bad. My bad. Rogue. I'm sorry. My bad. Rogue. Rogue
Mhm.
stole her powers. So I say that to say this. My pick is surprisingly Captain Marvel because I actually went back and
What the
saw
fuck?
the.
How are you gonna put us through this?
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised.
Anyway,
Like,
I'm gonna
boy,
tell
you
you why.
swerved. You
Because
swerved us big time on that one, boy. Cal,
I,
you deserve a reward for that one, buddy.
I say that to
Oh,
say
A
this
fire
because,
DBZ engine. Turn to
but I say that to say this because Captain Marvel actually I rewatched it on Disney Plus and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Maybe I was just tired that day. And if you think about it, if it wasn't for Captain Marvel, there would probably be returning back to Thanos was finna kill all my people. Come on, let's think about it. They was finna
She had but that Thanos.
yeah. So
okay. Okay.
yeah.
All right. All right.
So
Hang on now. Now you hang on for a second, okay? I would like to interject. I want to say that it wasn't her that was the saving grace of that battle. That belongs to Scarlet Witch.
No, there's an argument for both though. Scarlet Witch did.
Scarlet Witch was about to end Thanos
It's
right
coming
then
off
and there.
now.
This dude said, "Bring down the rain," because he knew he was
But
done.
if Captain Marvel didn't beat his ass like he did, and then Scarlet Witch come behind him, you see the terror on his face.
all right, so that's my pick. So we have Captain Marvel advanced unless Brandon or Dasmine wants to use their wild card to put Luke Cage to the next round.
Nah.
Nah, we're gonna need somebody to defeat Superman. Well, that's
Okay.
mine.
Okay. All right. Well, it looks like Captain Marvel, whatever version you want to pick of her, advances. All right. So up next we have CJ. We have Doctor Strange versus the Thing.
With the last statement that I just heard said, we need somebody strong enough to beat Superman. You look at these two, Doctor Strange, no question.
All right, Brandon, who do you pick?
Doctor Strange. Like his character is awesome.
Lee.
I hope Doctor Strange sweeps this because he's my pick too.
And Desmond.
All right, look, yeah, okay, yeah, we want to defeat Superman. Superman's weakness is magic. Doctor Strange has that, but I'm a sucker for big burly dudes who are tough guys, but they have a big heart, and I'm going with Thing.
Okay. Well, unless you want to use your wild card, Desmond, it seems that the thing is out of here, and Doctor Strange advances. What do you think?
I'm just gonna show my love to the Thing and be like, peace out, bro.
All right. All right.
Never
So,
love it blue-eyed Thing.
Kick
all right.
rocks.
Oh God,
Oh, that's so wrong.
these rocks kick back.
Oh man, that's so wrong, CJ. It's messed up. All right. Speaking of people to jack people, Lee, we have Rogue versus Captain America. Who do you pick?
I think Rogue steals Captain America's powers and becomes the next president.
What? Huh?
Y'all
mean-
don't remember when Captain America was president for like 2 issues?
Nah.
About the
I-
evil
I-
Captain America?
I don't remember that one. That's a new one to me. All right. So Lee picks Rogue, right? Am I mistaken?
Yes. Rogue's always been a favorite.
All right. All right, CJ. Who do you pick?
Yeah, man, I think that Rogue is the more dynamic character of the two. Like Captain America kind of has that Cyclops issue, boring, stoic leader character. Great fighter, but yeah, Rogue, her power set, yeah, there we go.
All right, Brandon. Who do you pick?
Doesn't Captain America get shot off of a bicycle or something like that?
What?
That was Evil Knievel.
Oh, okay. Either way, I didn't think that was a character I hated like I did on Superman. This I do not like Captain America. So yeah.
What?
Gene. No, I can't stand Captain America. So
All right. So that's 3 for Rogue. And Desmond, who do you pick?
I liked what they did with Rogue as far as like X-Men animated series. She was never a damsel in distress. There was some big dude that was part of the Morlocks that knocked her through some brick wall, and she comes right back with some sort of a southern aphorism like, y'all look more nervous than a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. That's like that just knocks this dude right back through the wall. And then we get the X-Men animated, we get the X-Men live action movie with Anna Paquin. She's all, Mr. Logan, help me, Mr. Logan. They after me, Mr. Logan. Oh, Captain America can be one of those stoic, boring characters like Leonardo of the Ninja Turtles and Lion-O of the Thundercats and Cyclops of X-Men, but he has so much heart. With Chris, which Chris is this one? I'm going with Captain America.
Okay.
Like the
All
ship
right,
I have on my
so,
shoulder, but none of
get
y'all
back-
voted for Captain America.
it's America.
I mean, well, all right. Well,
This is America.
all right. You can use it. You can
I'm
use your
losing my
wild
wild
card
card
and
for
get.
Captain America.
Are you serious?
I am. Serious.
Wow.
Are you no.
Oh, all right then. Well, all
Wow.
right. Okay.
Okay.
You're right,
Okay.
video boy.
All right. Anybody want to use their wild card against
Captain America's trilogy is better than Batman's trilogy, better than Iron Man's trilogy. Captain America, the First Avenger, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Captain America, Civil War. Come on, bro. Get off me. Get off.
Brandon?
I said he's like Superman. Yeah, I don't.
Brandon, Lee, CJ.
Nah, I ain't using
Anybody
mine.
want to
I'm-
use their
It
wild?
ain't that serious for me.
Somebody else is gonna get
Lee?
him. I ain't worried about.
You know what? I'm gonna bring mine out.
What?
it.
Wow. Over Rogue?
Count.
Yeah.
All she do is suck me and dry. I mean,
We got
Wow.
Doctor, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god.
Wow. At this time, we have to go ahead and just.
Hey! I gotta
Okay.
say this joke. Is it safe to say the gloves just came off?
wow.
Oh.
Ba-doop-boop-doop-doop.
Oh my god.
Okay. All right. So here we go. All right. So it's Brandon versus Desmond. This is for both y'all's wild card.
No, it's Lee.
I'm picking from. My bad. Who did I say? My bad.
Desmond
Anyway,
Lee.
so Desmond Lee. Desmond Lee gets a wild card. Rogue versus Captain America. All right, Desmond, you're our guest. I'm choosing between a number between 1 and 10.
8.
What do you pick? Lee, what do you
7.
pick? Damn it, Lee, you
What
won.
the hell?
All right, so
Like, what?
all right.
Sorry,
Anyway,
Sugar.
hold on. So, all right. So Lee gets to answer this question first. So the question for the tiebreaker is: speaking of keeping up Chadwick Boseman, what soap opera did Chadwick Boseman play on?
I'm gonna guess One Life to Live.
Desmond?
General Hospital.
Drum roll, please. Both of you are wrong. So Lee, it goes to you as the winner of the numbers. Lee Rogue advances. The correct
Oh,
answer was Chadwick Boseman played on
all my
All
children.
My
Yeah.
Children. Okay, all
I know
right.
he
So
didn't have
looks
somebody
like
in a
Captain.
hospital.
Both of those answers were very One Life to Live in General Hospital. Yeah.
But the correct answer was All My Children, which played before All My Children. If you really watched the ABC lineup back in the day, it was All My Children, One Life to Live, and then at the end, General Hospital,
I
then
should have
Jeopardy.
known that.
All right, so
If you had that mother in the daytime during the summer, she would go to work. You had to watch her
you
stories for
knew
her, and if the VHS
you
was
knew that
working, you
lineup.
had to sit down and watch them stories. Tell me what happened. Oh, I want to watch this, mama. Oh, I want to watch this, man. Tell me what happened. Oh,
All right.
fine.
Well, it looks like Lee wins tiebreaker. Rogue advances. They both do not have their wild card.
Oh,
Only
God.
Brandon and CJ has their
Wow.
wild card.
Nice.
There's
And when you think
respect.
about
Respect.
respect for Captain
Captain
America,
America deserves that respect, bro.
You are a true patriot.
you are a true patriot, and your vote does not count for Captain America. But if you're listening out there, if you're if you're listening out there right now, your vote does count in November. So make sure you go out there and vote. All right, up next, we have Silver Surfer versus the Iron Fist. Mr. CJ Johnson, can you please tell us who you pick?
Silver Surfer. Silver's my favorite color. He has a surfboard. He's super OP. Yeah, Silver Surfer.
All right, Brandon, who do you pick?
All the reasons CJ said, except the favorite color. But yeah, Silver Surfer.
Jasmine?
um, uh, all the stories you try to tell with Superman, as far as like, oh, he's super powerful. Let's make a story about philosophy and what is the right thing to do. I feel like the best stories with that have been with Silver Surfer.
Okay. All right. So Lee, you end this whole round. Silver Surfer or Iron Fist?
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of either, but I'll probably give it to Silver Surfer just because he's got the cool cosmic thing going.
All right.
The
Well,
power.
Silver Surfer,
And he's nude.
Silver. Well, he's not, and he hates blackness too. All right. So Silver Surfer wins that battle. Okay. Up next, staying with Brandon first. Brandon. Up next, we have Scarlet Witch versus Deadpool.
I gotta go with Deadpool
Mm-hmm.
because like even death loves him. So yeah.
Okay. All right. CJ, who do you pick?
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one to Deadpool. Like he's really becoming to his own, in recent years. So yeah, this is an easy pick for me.
All right. Jasmine?
With the upcoming Disney Plus series, WandaVision, I think they're going to be able to flesh out this character a lot better. But her superpowers are so vague and powerful.
Yeah.
Deadpool has been, I don't know how, but this character has taken on a life of his own with social media. So I'm going with Wade.
All right, Lee. And who do you pick? Scarlet Witch or Deadpool?
Man, some of y'all have never dealt with annoying Deadpool cosplayers at a convention, and it
Yes,
shows.
I have.
Oh, dude, yes, I have.
My,
You know,
my,
I've
my
been there
vote is for
with you,
Scarlet
Lee.
Witch.
Well, with that being said, unfortunately, you do not have your wild card anymore. But that's 3 for Deadpool, 1 against Scarlet Witch. It seems that Deadpool advances. And staying with Lee, up next we have Hulk. Oh, this is an easy one. Hulk versus Black Widow.
Oh man, this is so tough because Black Widow has the coolest superpowers. And now I'm just playing. It's the Hulk. Yeah, the Hulk.
What
All
about her
right,
tiny little pistols?
Desmond, who do you pick?
Like I said, what about her tiny little pistols?
So is it Lara
And how
Croft
she
or
used to
Hulk?
like
Talking about
wrap her
breasts?
legs around somebody's face and slam it against the ground or the wall every single time.
So is it Lara Croft or Hulk?
No, the Hulk.
All right, Brandon. Who do you pick?
I mean, I actually wanted to choose Black Widow for this one because I like her story.
You lying? What's
No,
her
I'm
story?
like legit serious. I actually want to choose Black Widow.
Give me her story right now.
But doesn't she like go through all types of like ass training through? I don't know
Wow.
her
Wow.
story.
Give me her
I know
story, dog.
even way more than a Hulk. Does she go through?
What's her
some
story, dog?
Doesn't she go through some harsh ass training?
What harsh ass
Go
train?
through
By
some
who?
tra-
Who
Well,
do
isn't
it?
she like kidnapped from
Mm-hmm.
her parents or something? Like I don't legit know, but I like what I know from her more than what
What
I
you
like
know
from
about her?
Hulk.
Anyway, so Brandon says Black Widow. Lee, who do you
It's
pick?
me again.
CJ,
It's CJ again.
Oh, my bad, CJ.
Lord!
attention.
Lord, we all look alike, man. We all look alike. This battle, we gotta be green versus black, man. It's what's on the inside that matters. Oh man.
All right, CJ, who
You
do
know
you pick?
what? Just for that, I'm gonna pick Black Widow just to make it interesting.
Wow.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm with you, Brandon. Let's go. Give it to Rama now.
I'll have you know, Black Widow never made anything interesting.
Yeah.
It don't matter because she got my
Any-
vote. That's the most interesting thing she needs. Oh.
Well, unfortunately, I have the task of breaking this tiebreaker. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with, unless Brandon or CJ wants to use their wild card. I want to go with the Hulk.
Thank you.
Unless
I didn't want to have to hear
Brandon or Lee,
Bill Bixby's sad walking away music.
Brandon or CJ, do you want to use your wild card?
No, I mean,
we just wanted her to get her shine, man.
Her shine was when she fell. So, all right. Up next.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
Oh my God.
It's been like 2 years. Was it this year?
No, that was last year. That was last year. Wasn't it?
Last
That was
year.
last year.
Last year, yeah. My bad. Sorry. All right. All right. So it looks like the Hulk goes in. So we're wrapping up this last round. We ended with Vision versus Iron Man. Desmond, you have the floor.
Vision versus Iron Man.
That's my
Oh God. I'm going Iron Man. I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Brandon?
I'm actually going with Vision.
What is wrong with you?
Lee?
I'm gonna pick Vision as well. If any of y'all have read the Vision comic from a couple years back, you probably know why.
Oh, you talking about the one where he has his family? I think it was it Peter David?
Yeah. That stuff was cray. It was
That
wonderful.
was well written, and I think that's going to be the inspiration of WandaVision. But
Yeah.
still,
I'm super looking forward to that.
Well, I'll be CJ.
Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl. Yeah. No, man. Come on, man. Tony Stark all day, man. Let's
Oh,
go.
man.
Let's make it interesting.
All right. Well, here we go again. To wrap off this last round, unless somebody wants to use their wild card,
No,
I have the deciding factor. And although Tony Stark, he was part of the Avengers and probably gave us a tearjerker, I want to have to go with Stony Stark.
Stony
Who?
Stark.
I got you, man.
Stony
I got
Stark.
you.
Stony Stark. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So it looks like
I
Tony Stark
am.
wins.
Yeah.
All right. So that
Yeah.
wraps up the first round of the first part of the Marvel Superhero Tournament. Stay tuned. We're going to go with the second round. It's going to be even more interesting after this. Stay tuned.
Hey, Calvin here, host of the Straight Up Show podcast. And guess what? We're back bigger and better than ever with new guests, new straight up topics, and a new way to support the Straight Up Show podcast. That's right. You can now support our podcast by becoming a Patreon patron. Straight Up has 4 different tiers that you can choose from, with each tier having their own perks. Your monthly donation helps us produce efficient straight up content that you love so much. For more details, visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/straight up show podcast 318. That's patreon.com/straight up show podcast 318.
All right, so that was an interesting first round, a little lengthy one, but hey, second round's up next, and we're gonna start with our guest once again. Dasmine, coming up to you. First off, we have Wolverine lovers, Wolverine and Jean Grey. Who do you pick?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like I said earlier, as far as like the oversaturation of Wolverine within so many different titles and animated series and movies, and did anybody see the Logan, that last movie with Hugh Jackman? Was I the only person?
Yeah.
Was I the only person when the little girl Laura took the crucifix and laid it on the side as an X, bust out laughing?
No.
It was like people looked at that like, oh, it's so sad. It's like a Western. It's like Unforgiven with adamantium claws.
Oh
like,
my
no.
God.
If my agenda is to have Superman get his ass whooped, it's probably gonna have to be Jean Grey. I go with the Phoenix Force.
Okay, I was not looking. I did not expect that at all. All right, so Jean Grey for Dasmine. Brandon, who do you pick?
I want Superman to get his butt whooped, but I'm gonna have to go Wolverine on this one. I know Jean will get the job done though.
All right, so 1 for 1. Lee, who do you pick?
I got to go with Jean as well. Wolverine's overrated.
Wow. All right, CJ, choice is yours. Who do you pick?
Give it to that boy Logan, man. Give it to Logan. Because here's what y'all got to understand. When you say you want Superman to get whooped, understand this is for greatest superhero of all time, not who would win in a fight between the two. So keep that in mind. So legacies play a big part.
All right, so it looks like I have the difficult task once again. So Brandon has Jean Grey, CJ has Wolverine.
He's not paying attention.
And they both have their wild card. I mean, Dasmine has a point about Jean Grey. I mean, it's superheroes, and Jean Grey is the Phoenix too. I'm gonna have to go with Wolverine. So Wolverine advances. So staying with our guest, I'm gonna go ahead and go with CJ. CJ, we have next the Black Panther versus Nightcrawler. Who do you pick?
Funny because like Panther, Crawler, like they kind of have like similar character types as far as like the animalistic nature of them. Anyway, Black Panther. Let's go.
All right, all right, Lee. Who do you pick?
Got to give it to Kurt Wagner, my man, Nightcrawler, Excalibur for life.
All right, Dasmine. Who do you pick?
Black Panther. Like I said, a Nightcrawler is a worm. What's a worm to a Black Panther? What's a king to a god? What's a god to a non-believer who doesn't believe in anything? Black Panther.
All right. So last but not least, Brandon, who do you pick?
I like both of these guys. I think if I read Excalibur, I would see where Lee's coming from. But I'm gonna go with Black Panther on this one.
All right. Well, unfortunately, you don't have your wild card anymore. So that means Black Panther advances. All right. So, this is gonna be a hard one. Brandon, I want to use you for this one. Up next, we have Daredevil versus Storm. Who do you pick?
I'm gonna have to go with Storm on this one. I mean, she gonna lift him up, and he ain't gonna know where he is. So, I'm gonna go with Storm.
The echolocation ain't gonna do nothing for his ass. Huh?
Nothing. The lightning is just him up. I'm sorry.
All right, Lee. Who do you pick?
You know, I think even if she didn't have her powers, I think Storm could maybe take Daredevil in a fight. She would break out a knife.
Wow.
Storm.
Okay.
Underneath her thumb.
All right, Dasmine, with that being said, who do you pick?
I think Storm lifts up Daredevil into a cyclone or a hurricane wind, and then his radar is all off, and she just kicks his ass in the head. And she asks him, "Do you know what lightning does to a toad in the thunderstorm. The same thing that happened to Lake Charles and Hurricane Laurel. A storm.
Awkward pause.
Yeah, yeah,
You have to let him sit with that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
Let him
happened.
think about it.
Make him realize. Uh-oh.
Anyway, all right. So last but not least, CJ, who do you pick?
Dude, look, okay. Storm has the better costume, okay? If we're talking hand-to-hand fight, that's Daredevil easy, all right? But Storm, all she has to do is just throw a lightning bolt like really close to Daredevil, and the thunder from it is just gonna knock his hearing off, and there goes his sonar. He's done. So fighting-wise, costume-wise, character-wise, this is Storm all day.
All
All
day.
right. Well, with that being said, it looks like Storm advances unless anybody wants to use the wild card. Other than that, Storm advances. All right. Up next, we have Blade versus the God of Thunder, Thor. Lee, who do you pick?
Ooh, this is kind of a tough one. I'm gonna have to say I think Thor just edges it out just a little bit, just because I love playing as him in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
All right, so Thor it is. All right, Dasmond, who do you pick?
I recently saw Blade on HBO Max. I remember the part where the cops had ran in the hospital and shot at his body armor, and Wesley Snipes was like, "Just lost your mind." I'm still gonna go with Thor.
After all that, Dasmond says Thor. All right, Thor. All right, Brandon, who do you pick?
I'm gonna go with Blade on this one because I play with as him on Marvel Universe, Ultimate Marvel.
Okay. All right, and CJ, who do you pick?
Man, you know what? The deciding factor for this is actually going to be Wesley Snipes versus Chris Hemsworth. And I got to go with Wesley on that, man.
Yeah.
Like, Wesley's portrayal of Blade was way more memorable and iconic for me than Chris Hemsworth was with Thor. And that's not taking anything away from Thor. It's just, these are
But I
technically
gotta
two
say,
titans.
I know it's your decision, but knowing how Wesley Snipes, hearing all the things that Wesley Snipes was doing on set between 1 and 3, and how much of an asshole he was, and
Hey, we ain't talking about what's going on behind the scenes. We're talking about what he's doing in that
and
movie.
the quality
That's
of
it.
trilogy versus trilogy as far as what they did with the character.
Well, if you want to talk about that, Thor needs another character to make him better as well. Blade.
And if we want to talk about the movies, I've never seen the first Thor. Like till this day, I still have not watched the first Thor.
And
A lot of people think the first Thor
second.
sucks. I liked it. To me, it was like they sold me on how this cosmic weird character could work. But Blade, I mean, you have a vampire who fights against full-blooded vampires with knives, swords, and guns. That sounded awesome, and it was as awesome as well, it was more awesome than I thought it was going to be. But
Unfortunately, I have the difficult task of breaking this tie. And
No pressure.
honestly, there's no pressure. It's Blade, but I'm gonna tell you why. But because honestly, I am not a big fan of Marvel using mythological characters as superheroes. I don't like it. Hercules, Thor. I just don't like it. That's my biggest pet peeve. That's why I'm not a big Thor fan. Like, oh, I can read about you in school too. I can't escape. But, so it's the idea of escapism in comics that's why comics are there, because of escapism.
Hey, but
we have to read about
but low key, if you had a history test coming up, man, boy, you would nail it if you watched the movies.
Not accurate at all, sir. Okay. And then the fact that you have Thor and Hercules both as Avengers, nah, I'm cool with that, man. I'm good. Blade advances. Yeah, Hercules is actually an Avenger.
I know, but it's like, you got Hercules, Ares.
It's just like, whoever made Thor and Hercules really did a half-ass job. Like, what else can we do? Oh, Squirrel Girl. Oh, Thor. Okay, here we go. Thor.
Who else
Okay.
is in the
Yeah.
public
Back on
domain?
Squirrel Girl.
Oh yeah, Dracula. Let's put Dracula in a whole bunch of Marvel comics. Actual
Somebody-
thing that happened.
All right. Up next, we have Spider-Man, all versions of him, versus Captain Marvel. CJ, who do you pick?
Spider-Man, next question.
Brandon,
Spider-Man. Next question.
Dasmond.
Spider-Man. When we talking about the everyman hero, and anybody can relate to, Spider-Man.
And Lee, who do you pick?
Man, I fought so hard for Carol earlier, but the sheer pluckiness alone, and it doesn't matter which Spider-Man you're talking about.
Mhm.
They're all so good. I
Yeah.
got to give it to Spidey.
All right. Well, that's a clean sweep for the second round. And I was gonna pick. No, I'm just kidding. No, Spider-Man. All right. So, all right. So, Dasmond, starting off with you, we got Doctor Strange versus Rogue. What do you pick?
Doctor Strange, because I'm vindictive and petty.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I'm going with Stephen Strange because I'm petty.
All right, Stephen Strange is. So,
He
Brandon,
might have
who
a
do you pick?
schizophrenic episode and gets confused who she is.
Golly.
Problematic. Yes, I know.
Yes, it very is. I'm gonna go with Rogue because
Get outta here.
Doctor Strange
What
was
turn
texting
on
and
your
driving.
location?
Turn on your location. Wow. This is getting serious. Oh, jeez. Gat. Okay. All right. So, all right. So, Brandon picks Rogue. Dasmond has Doctor Strange. Lee, who do you pick?
Man, I really backed myself into a corner here because I love both of these characters a whole bunch. God, I think I'm gonna have to give it to Rogue
Okay.
just because why am I gonna waste my wild card?
True. Unfortunately, Dasmond wasted his too. So, CJ, who do you have?
Oh man, I got all the power right now, don't I?
You do.
Oh man.
You got the
Oh
touch.
man. I could send this to you, Calvin. I could send this stress to you, or I can pick Rogue, which is what I'm gonna do.
Wow,
Ooh.
that's 3-1 for Rogue.
Yeah, man. Look, I love both characters. These are both
Mm.
incredible characters, but this goes back to the X-Men show. The show is what sold it for me, man.
Yeah,
We got
me
so
too.
many memories with that show. So I'm sorry, but the 90s show, that has sealed your fate, Daz. Deal with it.
I can't really argue against that.
Yeah.
Curse you.
It's okay.
I can't argue.
Yeah, because of the animated series, not the live action, because that's all right. So it seems that Rogue advances. She beats Doctor Strange. Up next, we have Brandon. We have Silver Surfer versus Deadpool. Who do you pick?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna go with Deadpool because he's the reason why Wolverine came back to life.
Is he?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think so.
Dasmond, who do you pick?
I pick Captain America. Oh God, I'm picking Silver Surfer because Deadpool can be annoying as hell. And I like the '90s animated series. Is it '90s or early 2000s? Anyway, it's around that time.
I think it was 90s.
It's still 90s. Yeah.
It's on Disney Plus.
All right, Silver Surfer then. All right. So Silver Surfer. It's always Brandon and Dasmond always going at each other. Anyway, CJ, who do you pick?
I got Deadpool, man. Like his personality won this battle over. Like Silver Surfer, at the end of the day, he's lacking in the personality department, at least from the media that I've seen him in. So Deadpool.
Okay. All right, Lee. It all comes down to you or me. Who do you pick?
I'm gonna say Silver Surfer. He needs a shot. He needs an opportunity to grow.
Give him the shine.
All right, man, I hate when y'all do this to me, but it
Buddy.
looks like I have the choice. But
Do the right thing, Calvin.
well, unlike Spike Lee, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Deadpool. So
Spike Lee wouldn't pick Deadpool.
Was
He
that an
absolutely
option?
would
We
not.
could have got a Spike Lee
Oh!
Deadpool movie.
That was Do the Right
Oh.
Thing, Spike Lee movie, Martin Lawrence, Radio Raheem, and Pookie. All right, so it looks like Deadpool advances. All right, so up next we have Lee. Lee, I have wrapping off the second round. It's gonna be a tough one, buddy. Iron Man versus the Hulk.
I think I'll have to say Iron Man because I love playing with those action figures way more. You could like mix and match the armor. It was awesome.
Okay, that's valid points. All right, Brandon, who do you pick?
I'm going to go with Iron Man. He plays a huge role in the Marvel Avengers
All right,
in every aspect.
that's true. All right, Desmond, who do you pick?
I believe Robert Downey Jr. surprised the hell out of me, given his background and the character of Tony Stark. I shouldn't have been surprised, but they did. They have performed above and beyond with that movie. And as far as like that trilogy, as far as what they did with the character, as far as like commentary on terrorism and being complicit in a system of irresponsibility and unaccountability as far as the military industrial complex. You could read into that if you want to, or just watch the explosions. There's some complexity to that trilogy and to that character. I'm going with Iron Man. Hulk is cool too, but
Okay. All right. Well, CJ, the choice is yours, but unfortunately, unless you want to use your wild card,
Clean
Iron Man
sweep.
advances.
Clean sweep.
Clean
Iron
sweep.
Man.
Well, I'm pretty sure Iron Man loves you 3,000. Oh, my bad, 2,000. My bad.
It's
3,000 was right.
3,000?
it's
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that
you're right. And you know what's crazy? Like I am slow, but it took me like 3 times to watch that movie to understood what that meant.
I love you 3000.
Do y'all not know what it means?
I don't.
Yeah, it took me. You know what it means? So at the time when the little girl, he said, "I love you a
Mhm.
ton," and a ton is 2,000. So she was saying, "I love you more," because 3,000 is more than 2,000. So a ton is 2,000, and she says, "I love you 3,000," means I love
More
you
than a ton.
more.
I didn't think it was that deep. I just was like,
Yeah, same here. Same here.
I was like,
wait,
kids
so,
are
am
stupid
I
and
the
say
only-
stupid things.
like a prodigy.
Did y'all really not understand that? Because that's what I got out of it. I thought I was the only person.
Wasn't that deep.
Wow.
Certain things is like you have to reach out to the general audience, and Marvel knows what they're doing. I love you.
Yeah.
You just ruined my fun. Jeez.
I'm sorry.
Hey.
No.
Hold on to that
I
thought, man.
thought-
Just hold on to that thought. Okay, just keep that in your mind that was the reason why they chose that number, for that instance. Okay.
Iron Man wins it all in the second round. So let's go ahead and push through. If you guys stay with us, we're gonna go ahead and go through this next round and then get a break in. All right. So here we go. Next round we have Wolverine versus Black Panther. Lee, pick.
Yeah.
I'm definitely giving it to T'Challa this time around.
All right, CJ, who do you pick?
Okay, it's monologue time. All right, so this battle coincidentally has become the battle of who played this character. I'm not even saying that right, but single actors that have become immortalized with a role. Okay, like Hugh Jackman is what you think of when you think of Wolverine, right?
Not-
Obviously, Chadwick Boseman is who you think of with Black Panther. What I will say is the deciding factor with this battle is that the way that Chadwick Boseman passed is reminiscent of when Christopher Reeve had his accident, his horse riding accident. Like, dude, I'll never forget how I felt when my mom told me that news. I was like I didn't say, Christopher Reeve is hurt. I said Superman? That's the first thing that comes to children's mind is the character that they portrayed, not the actual man behind it. And I feel like Chadwick Boseman has now become like that new day Christopher Reeve, because he will always be embodied with this role. It doesn't matter whether they try to recast him or not. Like, people will always, when you hear Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman will be the next name that comes to mind. So if you ask me, that iconic level, like that just puts you in that iconic level. So yeah, it's Black Panther for me. And that's not an easy decision.
Okay. All right, Brandon, who do you pick?
So I'm going based off this. Black Panther, as his character overall, I think is better than Wolverine's. Like, just what and who Black Panther is, his character overall is better than Wolverine. So it's Black Panther.
All right, Daz, who do you pick?
There was this documentary that I saw on YouTube that had McDuffie, Dwayne McDuffie, who created the Milestone universe, Static Shock, and he was talking about how like certain archetypes influenced the creation of characters, and Richard Roundtree's Shaft, he believed, was indicative of a certain iteration of Luke Cage, where Sidney Poitier in a certain time of like Hill Street Blues and all that influenced the suaveness and the regality and the creation of the character of T'Challa, Black Panther. And the way that Chadwick Boseman embodied that, I thought was incredibly beautiful and just super strong. Seeing him sparing the life of Kang, and I think this is not Kang. You know what I'm saying? At the end of Civil War, like, no, there's been enough bloodshed. You will see justice. That in itself, he embodied that character in that. And as far as like comic books for years have always been a morality play and empowerment fantasy for cisgendered heterosexual white males. And in live action, to see what they gave Chadwick Boseman in the character of Black Panther and T'Challa for little black kids to see, for adults who always wanted to see this in live action, it was absolutely powerful. Black Panther.
Black Panther wins. All right. We'll just forget the part he's Canadian. He could do Canadian, but okay. All right. So staying with Desmond, we're gonna go with Storm versus Blade. A little black on black crime for you.
Man.
This is me, Storm versus Blade.
Yes.
Blade did great for what I would call this is one of my favorite podcasters, Rod Morrow from the Black Guy Who Tips. He came up with this genre called the Impossible White Man, where it's like it's the action hero white guy who always has all the right answers and always how to defeat the bad guy and all these great quips. And it could be a black dude too. Black Panther, Blade. Okay. Wesley Snipes' Blade was a great impossible white man. Yes, you heard what I say. But it's just I think that Storm is just such a much more dynamic character. Even though live action has failed her, there's so much hope for what she could possibly be now that Marvel Studios has her character and what Chris Claremont has done with her. I'm going with Storm or Roro Monroe. That's what I'm going with.
All right. So Desmond, lengthy, but selects Storm.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm low.
It's passionate. I love it. All right. So Lee, who do you pick?
Storm for the exact same reasons.
Okay. All right. CJ?
Yeah, man, I love both of these characters, but once again, going off of the strength of the 90s animated X-Men cartoon, it's Storm, man.
All right, Brandon, unless you want to use your wild card, who do you pick?
I love Blade to death, but I'm going to go with Storm on this one.
All right, so clean sweep, it is Storm. All right, staying with Brandon. Brandon, up next we have, this is going to be another sweep, but Spider-Man versus Rogue.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Why did y'all let this happen?
Somebody's a little sea salty, I see.
Hey, at least it's not me this time.
It's it's
I'm,
it's it's Lee, and Lee destroyed the other bracket too. So,
Lee always does things. He
Hey,
always just
nobody saved
does
Batman.
things.
Oh man.
no, that was all y'all's fault. Lee challenged y'all, and y'all just let it happen. So,
Yeah,
Ah.
it is
I
true.
mean, yeah,
yeah.
that's
Anyway,
true.
that is true.
Oh
So,
man.
Yes,
Brandon,
blame the victims.
blame, yeah, blame the victims. But yeah, so Brandon says Spider-Man. Lee, what do you say?
You know I got to give it to Rogue, and
Absolutely.
and because I'm about to lose, let me tell you why I've wanted Rogue to come so far. So within the last couple of years, like her powers have like developed to where she can actually control them. So she doesn't like murder people anytime she touches them or whatever. She just takes their powers for a little bit. And because of this, she's become like an awesome leader in the X-Men because she can like strategically like take a couple powers at a time and become like a one-woman wrecking crew. And it just really made me like fall in love with that character again that I'd already loved from that 90s cartoon. So that's my point on Rogue. Y'all vote Spider-Man away.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, CJ.
This is
CJ don't eat
once
his candy.
once again, man, going off of the strength of the 90s animated cartoon, I
Seriously?
gotta give that dub to Spider-Man, dude.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Serious? You serious?
Nice.
Come on,
I
man.
gave I gave you that. That was nice. All right, so Desmond, who do you pick?
All right, look, with Rogue, yes, I want to see women and kick ass instead of just being some vulnerable woman who just rolls up and throws her thighs around some guy's head and slams into a wall. I want to see women who, if we talk about the superhero genre, women deserve to have a character they can see get thrown through a bunch of debris and then come back out and give as good as she gives. But Spider-Man is just that. It's that character that Stanley created. That whole mantra, with great power comes great responsibility, is iconic and timeless.
All right, so you say Spider-Man. All right, so Spider-Man wins that. Up next, we have Deadpool versus Iron Man. Lee, who do you pick?
I'm gonna go Iron Man.
Okay, Brandon.
Deadpool and his fourth wall breaking and all that is good, but Iron Man just sets the tone, like I say, everywhere you see him in the Marvel universe. So I'm going with Iron Man.
Okay, all right, and CJ, who do you pick?
Yeah, man, Deadpool, he just stumbled into just the wrong playing field this time. He just got
Yeah,
outclassed in this battle. That's simply what happened. Like this is Iron Man.
yeah.
Okay, and Desmond.
Your aunt 6 years ago didn't know who Robert Downey Jr. was, let alone who Wade Wilson was. But nowadays, people look at Iron Man as about as ubiquitous as a Superman. What the Marvel Cinematic Universe has done with this character, all these people who crime because he snapped his fingers and said, "I am Iron Man." That is a testament to not only Robert Downey Jr. to the Marvel Cinematic Universe to God, I forget his name, who directed the first two uh, Iron Man movies. Iron Man. Deadpool is obnoxious.
Okay, all right. Well, it
Yeah.
seems that Iron Man sweeps this. So that sets the tone for final four. So if you guys have been listening, we are at our final four, and coming up after the break, we're gonna have the final four, the final of the Marvel side of the bracket, and the final Superman versus who? Question mark. All right. So make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? Brandon here with Straight Up. We want you to be mindful of the importance of wearing a mask out in public. We know it's uncomfortable, but believe it or not, you are saving a life. This virus has hit our community hard, and scientists are still looking for a vaccine. So wash your hands, practice social distancing, and most importantly,
wear a damn mask.
All right. So, guys, guess what? We're back. We did it. We have the final four. If you're still listening right now and you haven't gotten mad at us, we're still here. But as always, before we go any further, any kind of comments, concerns, or criticisms, Lee, we have an email that you can send all that to. Can you remind people where they can send their email to?
Well, yes, that email is idon'tcare@gmail.com.
I don't care at gmail.com. All right, so let's get to it, guys. The final four, and we're just kidding, by the way. The final four is set. So last round we had black on black. Now we have domestic abuse. No, I'm just kidding.
Man.
Wow.
Just kidding. But now we have a domestic situation right now. We have Black Panther versus Storm. Who do you pick? CJ, choice is yours.
Oh, of course I gotta go first. All right, man. So, all right, Black Panther. All right, we know the story there. Okay. Storm, once again, she has the strength of that animated series behind her. The movies kinda brought the character down. Um, oh man, powers wise is incredible. The difference maker between these two for me is that when have you ever heard that Storm influenced a culture? That's my biggest deal break. That's the difference maker for me, right? Like Storm has been around for ages, but for some reason we've never said that she has been a pioneer for Black culture.
She's a
Black
black
Panther
woman
did that,
superhero.
man.
She's a
It,
black
it
woman
did that. I mean,
superhero.
I get it.
I
I
mean,
get
no,
it.
like, absolutely, no, absolutely. She should get her due. But what I'm saying is that's not what's being said. That's never been said, right? For whatever reason, right? So just going off the strength of that, that's something that Black Panther has that Storm doesn't. So I give the edge to Black Panther, man.
Okay. Lee, who do you pick?
I I gotta go with Storm. I mean, she not to diss what CJ said, but she had more of an impact on my childhood than Black Panther did. I mean, all I knew him from was like a couple of guest spots in that Fantastic Four cartoon. And Storm, I just watched her character grow like through the wonderful soap opera that is the Uncanny X-Men comics, and I always love that character.
All right. Dasmond?
Storm has been a icon to a lot of black women and LGBT community people in the comics and cosplay community. Um, Created in 1975, Black Panther created in 1966 by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. It's kind of hard. Growing up in the 90s in the X-Men animated series, I'm the oldest out of five kids, and the vast majority of the people in our immediate family are women. And seeing them proud of this woman who, according to comics, was born in New York, but was raised in Africa to be a goddess and all that, she absolutely influenced a lot of people because they didn't see a lot of black female superheroes who were not a damsel in distress. She could take care of herself. She was had this motherly kind of vibe to her. But as far as like everything with T'Challa now, it's what Chadwick Boseman and the director Ryan Coogler and those writers they seized on a moment. Um, in that moment wound up being bigger than whatever they did from the 90s animated series to the films. Um, this is hard to say, but I'm gonna have to go with Black Panther.
Okay. Wow. All right, CJ. Not CJ. This is Brandon's choice, isn't it?
Brandon.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
Okay, so
Brandon?
first off, let me say, Lee, every tournament you have done a phenomenal job because I'm like, how did we get to this? Because
Facts.
this has been like even like the other episodes, like how did this happen? How did these two end up together?
Hmm.
But that being said, what you said, Calvin, I understand. I actually don't care what people think if they're mad with these choices because look, this is hard. I want to see them do this. I'm gonna go with Black Panther. Everything everybody has said is completely true. It's just with this now I'm thinking who I would want to see go on to fight Superman or compete against Superman, and I'm not sure Storm fits the buck on that.
I'm not sure she doesn't, but
Right.
I agree. I agree.
it's so hard.
It's hard.
This is really like this is super hard, man. Like we're trying like to condense all of our thoughts down, in this quick
I really
description.
am.
But this is a very hard decision, man.
Because I don't know, have y'all seen, I don't know if it was BT or somebody did, when Captain America came to Africa and
That was
it was
BT.
the first
Yeah.
That was
mission
BT.
to where Captain America lost. So
Mhm.
I'm
You got his
riding
ass whooped.
also on that. So
That was
it's
T'Chaka though. That wasn't T'Challa. That was T'Chaka.
But that was a
But it's
Black
still the
Panther.
Black Panther
It's
character,
still the
though.
Black
Okay.
Panther.
Okay. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, Desmond or Lee, didn't Black Panther fight Storm at one point?
Several times. I also kind of want to mention
Well,
there's a
couples fight
term
all the
called
time.
retcon, retroactive continuity. Like I said, Storm was created in 1975. Black Panther was created in 1966. And it wasn't until the 2000s that they decided, because these two characters are Black and from Africa, we should write a story where they used to be in love with each other as children. And they've never mentioned this throughout the entire decades that these characters existed. The marriage between the two of them, I think it was kind of like, it was just very sloppy and slapped together. And then they divorced them in a very sloppy way soon after. So that's more you to the writers than those two characters. But
Right. Well,
I
I
don't
just wanted to explain the whole domestic thing, because that's what I was referring to for those who don't know that Black Panther and Storm were married at one point. So there you go. All right, but with that being said, it looks like unfortunately you don't have any more wild cards, and it looks like Storm is eliminated from this tournament. So Black Panther advances to the Marvel side of the finals. But
We
staying with
Storm.
love you, Storm. Yes.
love you.
Love you. But with that being said, we have the last battle of this final four. We have Iron Man versus Spider-Man. Desmond, who you pick?
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Like I said, when they introduced this character to the mainstream live action cinematic movie going audience, nobody, your aunt didn't know who the hell Tony Stark was. What superhero is Tony Stark? She wouldn't know. They made this character widely known to the general populace, but Spider-Man has been well known for at least the 1960s. And he's that everyman, comes from poverty, wasn't raised by his own parents, raised by his aunt, blue collar, trying to always make it. He's the Charlie Brown of superheroes.
Good Lord.
I like that reference.
And it's Dr. Doom that always snatches the football away from him. I'm gonna have to go with Spider-Man.
Okay, Spider-Man it is. All right. Lee, who do you pick?
I'm all about that spider blood, radioactive spider blood, Spider-Man.
Got it. All right, Brandon, who you got?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Spider-Man in every civil war, every war, either way, has made a difference. Like in the actual comics, didn't Spider-Man betray Iron Man and go with Captain America?
Yeah.
And
Spider-Man was a big factor in the Civil War
right.
comic.
Yeah, and in the movies, in the Marvel movies now, Spider-Man is, taking a new mantle for Iron Man. So I'm looking at that, and I'm gonna go with Spider-Man.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, CJ, I mean, unless you use your wild card, Spider-Man advances, but who do you pick?
Oh man, Spider-Man's gonna get that clean sweep. Because of what Dad said, Spider-Man has a longer lineage. Like with what they did, with what the MCU did with Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr.'s performance, they turned that character iconic, no question, right? But the issue is that Spider-Man has been iconic since the 90s, right?
Before that.
Way before then, right? So Iron Man also had a 90s cartoon as well, but I ain't watched that crap nearly as much as I did Spider-Man. So yeah, Spidey man, you get that clean sweep, buddy.
All right. Well, it looks like Spider-Man is heading to the finals. Our finals is set. Shout out to Joe Perry for the awesome theme song of Spider-Man. You didn't know that? It's a fun fact. Um, so it's Spider-Man versus Black Panther. So let's do this. All right. Yeah, I know, right? Spider-Man versus Black Panther. Which one of these two will take on Superman in the finals? All right. So Spider-Man versus Black Panther. Brandon, who do you pick?
I'm sorry, Spider-Man.
All right. Lee, who do you pick?
So, can we all kind of agree that Spider-Man is Marvel's Superman? He's like the face of the
in a certain
company.
way.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, I think he's the ringer here.
All right, Desmond.
Like Lee said, there was this comic book that had Superman and Spider-Man meeting each other, and they had like Doctor Octopus and Lex Luthor facing against them. Spider-Man is that, that mascot for Marvel in the way that Superman is the counterpart of that, and he's that guy who, as much as I love Black Panther and what he's meant in the last couple of years, it's the same thing with like Iron Man. They've made Iron Man that ubiquitous household name character recently, but Spider-Man has so much more longevity.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, CJ.
Yeah, man. I agree completely, man. Another clean sweep. Let's be honest, right? And this is respect to the character, right? Black Panther has been around for a while. Spider-Man
Yeah.
has been around for a while, right? But with Black Panther, it seems like, at least in the mainstream, that his comeuppance really didn't come until this movie, until the first movie, and then of course the passing, like in the mainstream. Keep in mind, in the mainstream. So once again, the fact that Panther made it this far, we know Spider-Man's going to the next round, so
Yeah.
that's nothing. But yeah, but definitely giving credit to Black Panther, like the fact that he made it to the finals, I feel like this was deserved. I
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
do feel like this was absolutely deserved. Like once
This wasn't
again,
forced.
he's become iconic. Like this character now going forward, like is gonna mean something to so many next generations coming up, and that's a beautiful thing, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So much respect to Chadwick Boseman for bringing to life, on live screen, on live action, Black Panther. Much respect to him in the character. We don't know how it's gonna, what's gonna happen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with this character. I'm pretty sure all of us have our different opinions about it, but until then, we got to give much respect to Chadwick Boseman and the Black Panther character. Fortunately, for this tournament, Black Panther would not make it to the finals. But the winner of the Marvel side of this bracket is the web slinging person from New York City, Mr. Neighborhood Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Miles Morales, whoever else
Whoever
you
you
can
want
name.
to throw in,
Whoever you want to
insert
throw in.
name.
Miguel O'Hara.
So
Ben
all
Riley.
those Spider-Man, Ben
Riley.
Riley,
Oh,
Ben,
jeez.
Ben
Insert
Riley,
name.
some name. So you just insert the name, but the Spider-Man wins the Marvel bracket, and we now have the ultimate final setup. The character from each comics, DC's Superman versus Marvel's Spider-Man. Let's go ahead and do it. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
man.
All right, let's do it. All right. So Spider-Man versus Superman. Who is the best superhero? Brandon, let's hear your vote.
It's Spider-Man. No,
Okay.
like this shouldn't even be a hard thing. It's Spider-Man.
Okay. Desmond, who do you pick?
It's Spider-Man. Stan Lee knew that when he wrote these characters, one of the biggest problems with the DC characters is they're just too godlike. Spider-Man was human. He had to have a job. He had to take care of his elderly aunt. He had to. He tried to keep up with his own social circle. It's just all too human. As far as like he could get shot by a bullet and die. I mean, I go with Spider-Man all day.
Yep.
Okay.
Next.
All right, Lee, who do you pick?
Spider-Man, hands down.
Yep. Next.
Wow. Now, unless CJ does something crazy, CJ,
I mean, I do got my wild card.
you and Brandon
I
both.
mean, I
but-
have too, but why would
Yeah,
you do that?
We can go to war, man.
Do
We
it for-
can
no.
we
Just-
can go to war, man.
Bro, Brandon was trying to advocate for Superman. That's some.
I'm
no,
not.
no, he's not. No, he's not.
Hey,
So
man.
CJ,
Oh,
who do
man.
you pick? The last vote
right?
for this tournament altogether, Superman or Spider-Man? Who do you pick?
Okay, so if you look at toys, both of them have iconic toys. If you look at TV shows, right, both of them have iconic TV shows, right? The Batman Superman Adventures, the solo 90s Superman animated cartoon was great, okay? Movies, okay, they've both had good movies and shaky movies. I do give Spider-Man the edge to the better track record with the movies. All right. As far as live action portrayals of the characters, I give the edge to Spider-Man on that. You know. But I will say that the deciding factor to me between these two characters, because they're so neck to neck, is video games.
Yes, I knew this was where it was
Damn
going.
it. No.
I
Superman
have
64 for the win.
all I gotta say is Superman 64. If you've played that game,
Don't
then
do
then I don't need to say anymore.
Yep.
Okay?
What
I
about
have
the-
never played a good Superman game till
The
this
word
day.
abysmal
Like
comes to mind.
Injustice doesn't count because that's
Oh, yeah.
the whole Justice League. That's not a solo Superman game. But if we're talking Death and Return of Superman on Sega and Super Nintendo, that was trash. It was a Streets of Rage ripoff. Spider-Man, you had Maximum Carnage. Dude, the PS4 Spider-Man game
Awesome.
is going to go down as one of the greatest video games of all time. It is. Mark my words. Dude, it's no question, man. Spider-Man wins this battle, dude. Spider-Man wins this battle. Superman couldn't deliver on the video game front. He couldn't.
Wow, CJ, way to go to take us home with that one. So who's
Yeah.
your pick? Who's your pick? Probably Spider-Man, right? I'm just kidding. No, Spider-Man. It is. No, Spider-Man wins the whole shebang. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Spider-Man is your favorite superhero of all time. Big thanks to Dasmine and CJ for coming on our show today. Always welcome. You guys can come back anytime you would like. Definitely big thanks to Lee and Brandon for your work, especially Lee for putting
Lee. Yeah.
for putting the show together. Lee,
Hey,
big
this is a
thanks,
good
man.
one,
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you for indulging me.
Yeah, even though you produced the show and you kind of wrecked the show, no, I'm just kidding. But
You're welcome.
He started the collision with Black Panther versus Storm.
wow,
Man.
but it's the fact that our decisions got us there, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That could have gone better if I'd
Decisions
planned it.
actually got it there.
yeah.
What if
So-
he's like a Lex Luthor type mastermind and he knew that was going to happen?
Right?
I don't know. Just do it. Or Professor
Oh my
Chaos or
goodness.
something crazy. But with that being said, we want to thank all of you for listening to our show. Make sure that you go follow. We want to continue the conversation online at our website at www.straightupshowpodcast.com. Go listen to our episodes, listen to our merch, buy some of our merch. Can't talk today. But definitely we want to keep the conversation going. Let us know if you liked the episode. Share it. Make sure if you use the hashtag Straight Up Show Podcast, use all your social media platforms. We will be randomly picking up somebody to give away some free merchandise. So make sure you use that hashtag when you share an episode of our podcast. But if you want to donate to our show, we have a Patreon page. You can support us. That's patreon.com/Straight Up Show Podcast 318. That's patreon.com/Straight Up Show Podcast 318. Until then, there's only one rule to our show is you got to be
Straight up.
Straight up.